Statistics show that the average website is only converting around 2 to 3% of its traffic into leads or sales. That means for every 100 visitors, 97 of them are simply slipping through the cracks. But what if there was a way to capture and engage more of that traffic 24/7? A way to generate more leads, book more appointments, and educate potential customers about your products or services? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. Hi, my name is James Saki, and I'm the founder of Merlin and co-founder of Dentara, both AI and automation consultancies focused on finance and healthcare, respectively. In this video, I'm going to show you how we used a few AI-powered technologies to build a conversational chatbot for an orthodontic practice in California. A chatbot that not only answers common questions and addresses objections, but also assists with scheduling appointments, gathering lead information, and helping to engage and educate potential patients. And the best part? The chatbot works around the clock, ensuring that no potential opportunity is missed. What I'm going to show you is a quick demo version for confidentiality reasons, and I'll probably release a full video of the build later on. So let's get into it. My co-founder at Dentara, Trudy Henderson, has a lot of experience working with orthodontic practices, and she was recently working with one practice receiving close to 5,000 monthly visitors, but struggling to engage and convert that traffic. Out of all the solutions we could build for the practice, we decided to go with the low-hanging fruit approach, which is before trying to implement complex solutions, we try to identify and tackle easy wins that can have an immediate impact. So this sparked an idea to build a smart chatbot that could help proactively engage that traffic. The key goals were simple: lead gen, appointment scheduling, and patient education and engagement. In our search for a chatbot solution, we came across Voiceflow and have been pretty happy with it so far. Voiceflow is a powerful tool that allows you to build AI agents, which are more robust than basic chatbots, and you can extend their functionalities using code. After spending probably 100 hours plus on the platform at this point, I've boiled down the basic build process into 4 steps. So the first one is defining intents and utterances, if I can spell correctly. The next one is building the knowledge base. And then designing conversation flows. And finally, deployment and integration. So I'll go through all of these briefly right now. So first things first, when building a chatbot, it's really helpful to think about why a user would want to engage with one. In Voiceflow, these are referred to as intents, and utterances are what users say to reflect those intents. For example, I want to book an appointment is the utterance, and the intent can be book an appointment. I'll talk more about this later, but just wanted to set the stage. In reality, steps 1 and 2 can be combined because as part of building the knowledge base, we think it's helpful to know which intents different queries belong to, so I'll cover that now. So at a high level, here's how a knowledge base works. When you upload a document, it's turned into chunks, so these are pieces of text. When you send a question to the knowledge base, it determines which chunks are most similar. Then, Voiceflow's natural language system combines those chunks, the question that you ask, the custom instructions, and the system prompt that you provide into what's called a structured wrapper prompt. So this is like a master prompt that's behind the scenes. And then that entire package is sent to the AI model, and then an answer is returned to you. So I'm sure you've heard this by now, but providing these large language models with as much specific information as possible and prompting them effectively is key to getting good answers. So because of Trudy's deep experience, we were able to build a pretty comprehensive knowledge base comprised of 250 plus questions and answers for the practice. So here it is. Like I said, Bright Smiles is a demo. It's fictional, so if you look it up, nothing's gonna happen. But we started by compiling these Q&As, and then we categorized them into broad topics. We found that this helped the model figure out, where to pull answers from. So you'll see why that's important. So we broke them up to things like addressing concerns and objections, general information, things about the office, the services, the hours, financial information. Like I said, we really went deep here. So tried to cover as much as possible that, it's like, if you actually call into the practice and you wanted to speak with someone there, how might they answer? That's kind of how we thought about it. So once we're done with this, we uploaded that into the knowledge base section. And then, like I said, I referenced the system prompt. So this is the system prompt that we used, and all the system prompt does is it tries to assign a personality and a way for the model to act. So we said, your name is Tara, you are a helpful assistant for Bright Smiles Dental, blah, 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 blah. So it's pretty lengthy, and in full transparency, I copied this from someone else who was much smarter than me, so I could share this with you. It's a really helpful format. And then for the model itself, we went with 3.5 turbo. We set the temperature super low. So what that does is it makes it, less creative. So you're less likely to get hallucinations. Doesn't mean it's, fully gone, but much less likely, because all it's doing is it's trying to basically, get the answer from the knowledge base as it is written without getting too creative. So found that helped. And then with tokens, we found that 128 for us was a good sweet spot to where answers, provided by the AI wouldn't get cut off, because, what the token does is, using a certain amount gets you a certain amount of words and characters. So yeah, we found that worked. And then with chunks, we just discussed chunks. Voiceflow recommends about 2 to 3. More than that, they say the system gets confused because it's trying to pull from too many, pieces of text. So we used 3 and we found that worked. So yeah, once we were done with this, we moved to, obviously testing it, previewing. We ask a question that, we have in the knowledge base and we see how it performs. So we tested a bunch, and that's how we landed on the setup that we have. And then we moved to actually designing the conversation flows, which Voiceflow now calls workflow. So I'll move to that in a second. When designing the conversation flows, we try to strike a balance between what users expect of a chatbot and how they might actually talk to a human. So we have a mix of predefined conversation flows and free-form Q&A blocks. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a much longer video going over the full build process, but for now, just wanted to show you a high-level look at some of the different flows and some of the key ones. So here is the welcome flow. So this is the Voiceflow canvas. They did recently change this layout. They're calling it workflows now, and it's intended to be more modular. So if you go back here, if you double click any of these different workflows, it'll take you directly to the canvas, for that specific flow. I did prefer the old way where it was just organized into topics, but that's just a personal preference. So anyway, here's the welcome flow. This is what you typically see. It's like a greeting. So hi there, thanks for visiting Bright Smiles. Just kind of welcoming the patient to your site as you would, welcome them into your practice, or if they called, something like that. And then we have our privacy policy acceptance, flow here, which they can either accept or decline. But in any case, if they continue chatting with the bot, they by default agree. So that's that. So that's the welcome flow. These are the buttons that take them down predefined paths. So we have one for new patients, returning patients, people who are just here to learn. And then if you just want to book an appointment, it'll take you straight to that scheduling appointment flow. So these are the different flows. So we have the welcome, current returning patient, like I just mentioned, new patient, and things like that. This is not organized in order, just because I think there was a bug that they were fixing. So that's why. So in terms of the key flows, obviously, the new patient one is probably the key one, right? Because again, we're looking to try to engage, proactively engage that traffic. So some of the key things in this flow are this API step here. So once users give us their name and their phone numbers, that information is sent to a Google Sheet, and now the practice has access to that and can use that for remarketing or reaching out to that patient, prospective patient. And then in terms of the things that they can actually do, we mapped all this out in Miro and really thought about, what might a user actually want to do. So obviously they'd like to book a free consultation, maybe they need a retainer, or they're just curious about Invisalign or braces. So clicking on any of these buttons will direct them down those predetermined paths and nudge them towards booking an appointment, because that was one of our key goals. So that's one of the core features. And then in terms of information gathering, we have a bunch of different flows for users to go down. And so these little black circles here, these are what we're calling intents, right? So what we spoke about before, the intent is what the user actually wants to do or what they might want to get information about. And then these are the utterances. So things that they might say that reflect those intents. So like I mentioned, the more information, the better. So as many ways as a user can say something, you want to get it in here, because what we've definitely found is if the utterance, even if it's already in there, it needs to be said exactly the way a user might say it, so it can be picked up. So when a user says something that makes an utterance that is actually picked up by the intent, then they're routed down that appropriate conversation flow. So that's how that works. And then in terms of scheduling, I could show you that real quick. We've embedded Calendly in here just for demo purposes, but you can use an API step to integrate this with your practice management software and pull dates from let's say you have a calendar application set up in there. You can pull dates from that and set that up here as well. So that's one of the things we like about Voiceflow. So yeah, those are the different conversation flows. Super straightforward and easy to build. And so when you're done building, or if you just want to test, you can then deploy it to an appropriate medium. So in this case, we're obviously going to deploy to our website because this is a web chat. So that brings us to the final step, deployment and integration. For deployment, I'm using a tool called Voiceflow. Voiceflow allows you to extend the functionality of your Voiceflow bot, and it's great because it lets you add things like the proactive pop-up messages and then live chat functionality, among other things. So before I go into Voiceflow, I do want to show you how to deploy just the Voiceflow chatbot itself to production. So once you've done all the flows and everything, and you want to deploy it to your website, for example, you'd go here to integration, the web chat, and then you would copy, follow the instructions here. Just copy this code and then paste it, before the body tag. So in my case on, a WordPress site, I used code snippets. So you copy this code, you put it in as a new snippet, and then just paste the short code. So super simple. But for Voiceflow itself, you can follow similar instructions. So like I said, with Voiceflow, you can have this live chat. Just the branding and the design, I think, looks a little better. And so same thing, you follow these deployment instructions. You can have it as a chat box, which is more like an iframe, pop-up, or a full HTML example. So the one we have on the site is a pop-up, and here is what it looks like. So pops up here on the right hand side. You can change this messaging, which I like, because I think one thing people definitely complain about with bots is no one uses it. The reason no one uses it is you likely don't have enough traffic for it to make sense for you, and two, there's nothing to show that the bot is active or it's more than just a regular bot. So I like having this, and you can have it auto start every time you visit the site. So here's what it looks like in practice. Let me get this out the way. And then yeah, with the live chat, what this does is when you click on this button, it'll send let's say you have a support person, it will send them a notification. There's a dashboard that they can use, and they can address any of the live chat requests from there. So yeah, that is that. So there you have it, a quick and dirty look at how we used Voiceflow and Voiceflow to create an AI-powered chatbot that can completely transform lead gen and patient engagement for an ortho practice. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Chatbots like this can be applied to virtually any industry or business model to drive more conversions, streamline operations, and ultimately boost the bottom line. That's why I want to invite you to book a free, no-risk consultation with our team. We'll take a deep dive into your specific business needs and explore what kind of AI solution could open up new revenue streams or reduce costs for you. Just click the link below, schedule a time, or send us an email at hello@usedentara.com, and we'll find a time to meet. Don't be one of those people who are afraid of anything AI related. I want you to better understand the technology, even if you don't like it, and figure out how you can master it and leverage it for your benefit. That's that. See you next time.